Hey everyone, how's it going today and welcome to another episode. So in today's episode, as the title suggests, I really want to talk about one of the biggest problems that I think our country is currently facing right now, and it has to do with everything related to the job market. So if you are someone that's either unemployed right now, then welcome aboard, you've come to the right video. But even if you actually happen to be employed, I still think that this might be an important video to watch, just because a lot of the stuff in our economy is all tied and related to each other. If people are not able to find work, they don't have enough money to spend. If they don't have enough money to spend, it's going to impact businesses, and if businesses become impacted, then it means our economy is not going to be doing very, very well, and it's going to add or just contribute to a lot of the other problems, such as like inflation, interest rates, everything that goes on, because our economy, like just mentioned, everything is tied together. But the idea really is that right now we are living through very, very difficult times when it comes to looking for a job. And this is not even something that comes from a news article, but even from talking to people in my real life circle. So if you happen to know me in real life, hey, how's it going today? The idea really behind this is that there's a lot of people I know, not from a news article, but from personal experience in real life, that have recently been laid off. People that I've talked to at like social events, they've lost their jobs. They're struggling to find employment. If anything, I'm looking for new employment. So I'm living it right now. And so I'm speaking from personal hands-on experience as well about how difficult it is to find jobs. So maybe that's something that might make my video a little bit more unique if you have seen another video with a similar topic. So the idea really is today's video is going to be about several reasons why finding a job feels so impossible and difficult right now. So with that being said, let's get right to it. But as always, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell if you guys enjoy videos like this, or watch to the end and decide. It's up to you guys, but it is greatly appreciated. And with that said, let's get this video started. So the first reason why it feels so impossible to find and get a job right now is something that I've seen other videos talk about, but I want to go into even more details about it. And it's really about the presence of ghost jobs. It is a very, very well-known fact, and if you don't know, well, now you do, that there are a lot of job postings that you will find online that are either fake job postings or postings of jobs that were never really intended to be filled anyway. And how do I know by that is that you can kind of tell something, and again, going back, this is not from an article, this is from personal experience, is that sometimes you will notice that you will find a job posting that was posted about 6 months ago, and then today you look up that company's job postings and it's still there, and they have not taken it down. So if you are posting, or in some cases it's even been reposted again. So I've seen jobs that have been posted 6 months ago, and then today it's being reposted again. So if you are looking to fill a position 6 months ago, but you are still looking to fill that position today, then it makes you really, really wonder whatever happened to that position. Either because that position for 6 months was never filled, or maybe this was a case where maybe they did fill up the position, but less than 6 months later, that position is open again because the person quit, or maybe the person got laid off. And if that becomes the case, then it really, really makes you wonder how HR, and a huge love and respect to HR, but it does make you wonder how HR is gauging talent, how they're able to kind of gauge who is the better worker if they're hiring people that have been getting laid off, or that have been, quitting their jobs less than 6 months later. Or it goes back to the same story, which is really about the fact that maybe that job was just never filled to begin with, and it's just been consistently reposted over and over again just to make the company look good. Because the idea really behind this logic, and feel free to leave your comments about this, but the idea really behind this logic is that a lot of times the logic behind this is that if they decide to end up posting a job post about some kind, it makes the company look like they're physically hiring. So if it looks like they're physically hiring, it looks like business must be doing particularly well, even if deep down inside it's not doing well. And this is really just for image reasons. There's also a say that sometimes HR might be making a posting just so it makes it look like they're being productive, because at the end of the day, HR, again, huge love and respect, but they are, it's a position at a company at the end of the day, and they have to look like they're actually being productive in order to get stuff done. And by posting these job postings, even if they don't really intend to fill them, that's one of the ways that they can do that. So that's really one of the biggest problems that I really see inside that's going on with the job market right now, and feel free to leave your comments again that I think is really, really important to share. The second point that I really want to make, why it feels so impossible to get a job right now, is pretty much just because of the nature of the job market. It is just a very rough job market. These days, a lot of people have been getting laid off. People are losing their jobs. There are hiring freezes left and right. And I can only speak about my particular industry. If you know me outside of this, I work in the media and entertainment industry, specifically doing film work. And so in my particular industry, between the strikes that happened last year and a lot of the slowdown in projects, it's leading to basically a situation where there just are not a lot of projects to physically go around. That's why it's so important to focus and learn about the economy regardless of your employment status, is because everything is tied together. Whether you follow the stock market, like I mentioned earlier, whether you follow inflation, the interest rates, everything related to that world, that's really the idea behind it. We are living through times right now where people are losing their jobs and not enough people are getting hired for the proper good high quality jobs. Because again, we talk about this on our channel, is that a lot of times it's not just about finding any generic job, and we're going to talk about this in a little bit in this video as well, but it's also about trying to find a quality job that actually can help pay the bills, that is reasonably enjoyable, at least good enough for our physical and mental health. So that's what I mean by the enjoyable part, and that feels relatively fulfilling, that will pay the bills and that will keep us and match the kind of lifestyle that we're trying to live. But if we're in a very rough job market, this just cannot be the case, or certainly it can be very difficult to make it the case. And that's really the second thing that I really want to talk about in today's video. Now, the next thing that I really want to talk about in today's video is really about one of the reasons why it feels so impossible to get a job right now, is because of the insane level of requirements that we have to put up with, that HR is currently looking for in finding the right applicant for a particular position. So you will notice right now that there are a lot of people that are veterans that are struggling to find work, that are experienced with several years of experience trying to find work but are struggling with it. So what happens is that it's a very odd situation, but and I'm going to explain why this is in a little bit. When you find an entry-level job, yet at the same time, while it is an entry-level job, you will find them asking for 2 to 3 years of experience, sometimes even 4 to 5 years of experience. So that really makes you question how is this an entry-level job if you're asking for years of experience? This makes it seem more like it's more of like a mid-career job, if anything. And it becomes even more problematic, especially for entry-level people, because there's a saying where it's like, you need experience to get a job now, but you need a job to get experience. You know what I mean? It's kind of a contradiction that is very difficult to face in what we're going through for a lot of people that are entry level. But the reality is I can speak from personal experience, is that I've even applied for jobs and I'm someone that actually does have several years of experience, but because of the nature of me and a lot of the other people that I know that are applying for jobs right now, there are so many people I know in real life that have actually downgraded the position that they're looking for because they can't find the proper job to match the actual level they are at in their career. So what they're doing right now is that they're applying for these lower level jobs. So when you have a situation, especially if you are entry level and now you're competing with veterans for the same exact job, that's just not a very good recipe to be in, and not a very particularly good situation to have to face. But that's the reality of what we're going through right now. Entry level people competing with people with years of experience for the same job. And the reason why this is happening is because of, going back to mentioning, it's because of the very rough job market that we're currently facing right now that's leading to all of this stuff that's happening. Now, the next thing that I really want to talk about is really about the one of the reasons why it's so hard to find a job right now is not just because of everything that I just mentioned already, but it's really because of the mismatch of skill sets of the jobs that are available with the jobs that people are actually looking for. And this is something that's very, very important, because you will see a lot of misleading data. And this is something that will come from articles and a lot of data and charts that you will see if you look up things online. But they talk a lot about how you might have a situation, I'm just giving an example, where you have 1 million people looking for a job and maybe 1.5 million jobs openings available. So you would think theoretically this means that every single one of those 1 million people, there is a job to fill. When the reality is that this is actually absolutely misleading information. And the reason why is that because just because there are 1.5 million jobs available in the market does not mean that those 1.5 million jobs are actually quality jobs. Some of those jobs are very low paying jobs that are very difficult to survive, especially in this economy because of inflation right now that we've already talked about so much in this channel. If you guys have made it this far, maybe consider subscribing if you guys haven't done so, but again, you guys can decide. But the idea really is that there are so many jobs that are either relatively low paying, so it's not like a job that you can find particularly sustainable income to live, especially if you are from a major city like me who's based out of New York City. There are a lot of positions for jobs that are only part-time. There are also a lot of jobs that might be in a particular sector or industry that is just not very popular. So why do I say this is that because you might have a situation where maybe there are like 100,000 people in healthcare that are looking for a job. And again, I'm just giving this as an example. But the problem is that all of the experience that they have is centered around healthcare because that's the industry that they work in. But when it comes to the job market, now it looks a lot more interesting because there are actually only 50,000 jobs in the world of healthcare. So now when you look at that situation, there is a very strong mismatch between the kinds of jobs that people are looking for and for reasonable reasons and the jobs that are actually available out there. You know, you might have a surplus and excess of jobs in one industry, but that industry happens to be in hospitality and retail. But the problem is that a lot of jobs in hospitality and retail do not pay very well. And they're just not the jobs that people in the job market that are looking for jobs are looking for right now. And so this just becomes a very, very difficult situation to really be in, but it's the reality of the world that we're living in right now as we're facing it. And then probably the last thing that I really want to talk about is really something that's a little bit very short to the point, but it's really because of the rise of AI. And that's something that's very straightforward, but it's still important to mention is that because right now, because of the rise of AI, it is well known and there's a lot of fear in articles that are out there. And so this one again does actually come from a lot of articles that many jobs might soon be replaced by AI. And feel free to leave your comment if you know a job that's an example to share. But the idea really is that because of AI, there's a lot of fear that things can now be automated, and it's because things are automated, many jobs in the next couple of years might disappear. And this is a very difficult thing to face. There's a lot of people that might be working jobs that now they have to change careers because of the AI situation. So AI has both become a blessing and a curse. It's been a blessing because it's helped to advance technology, especially if you are someone that invested in NVIDIA stock, such as I admittedly invested in a lot of NVIDIA back 8 years ago. But the idea really is that even then, there's obviously a bright side to AI. It's creating many jobs on one end, but it's also taking away a lot of other jobs on the other end. And that's something to really note about it. But beyond this is that that's pretty much most of what I really wanted to share in today's video. So maybe to recap is that the idea really is that it just feels so impossible and difficult to find a job right now because of ghost jobs, because of the job market, that just the nature of the job market, the high requirements, the mismatch of skill sets, and then of course the AI situation that we're really facing right now. But with that being said, there are so many things we can share, so feel free to leave a comment if there's anything that you think we missed, or maybe something that you think is just important to share in general. And with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, stay safe, stay well, try to stay employed, but best of luck if anything, and hope to see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much.